What's up, y'all? This is Bizarre here to give you another installment of the top 10 Wrestlemanias of all time. That's right, folks. We are at number 9 now. And number 9 is a WrestleMania that was not the best match quality-wise, but it did have a lot of importance, and it is looked upon as one of the greatest WrestleManias of all time. And I would say it is. It's obviously it's in my top 10, and the ending of the show, even though the main event was not good or great or anything whatsoever, it did have a very important return, let's just say. Of course, I am talking about WrestleMania 8. WrestleMania 8. That's right, folks. WrestleMania 8 is number 9 on my list. I know it's a bit ironic, but anyway, let's kick off, and I'll give a little bit of a review. The first match of the night, the opening match, was Shawn Michaels versus Tito Santana. Now, I believe, I'm not quite sure on this, it's really late at night, but I believe that this was Shawn Michaels' first solo appearance at a WrestleMania. The first of many to come, obviously. And it was against Tito Santana. It wasn't for any title or anything like that. It was just a match, opening match. I thought that this was a good opener. It was not a great opener or anything to throw yourself at, but it was a good opener, entertaining at a few parts. This was earlier on in Shawn Michaels' career, so you can't really nitpick at all that other stuff. It was a little bit of a letdown, considering who was in there. But overall, I know a lot of people are going to say I overrated this match, but I did like it. Going into it, I really did like the match. So I'll give it 3 stars even. I will say it's a 3-star match even. Up next was Undertaker versus Jake Roberts. Let me put it this way. Undertaker's matches at WrestleMania, with the exception of maybe 4, are crap. I love The Undertaker. I think he's one of the best ever, but for some reason they always stuck him with either a giant at WrestleMania or some stupid gimmick crap. And this was not an exception to that. This match was not good at all, I have to say. It was very boring. It got its point across in the end. Undertaker wins, obviously, after a tombstone on the floor. He goes 2-0 at Mania. This was only his second time at a Mania. Match overall, I'd have to say, I'll give it a star maybe, but it was a very boring match. So up next was what I believe to be a underrated by a few people, quite a few people, an underrated classic, and that is Roddy Piper versus Bret Hart for the Intercontinental title. This was a great match. This is probably Roddy Piper's best match of all time. I'd say anyway. It had nice counter wrestling, nice style of wrestling, great technical wrestling, and the crowd was really on fire for the match. I really liked that. And it was 14 minutes of non-stop action, something that you'd for an Intercontinental title match, and something that was not the main event. It was pretty to see something like that. It was very good. And Bret Hart wins the belt here. I believe this was his first singles title, but again, I might be wrong on that. I think I am wrong on that, actually. And but overall, this was a very good match. Very nice psychology, storytelling, everything like that. And I think it's lost just because Bret Hart is one of the greatest of all time, and he's had countless amazing matches. But I believe it should be remembered as one of those all-time underrated gems of WrestleMania. I'll give this match 4 stars. And sorry for the rant, but yeah, 4 stars. Up next was an 8-man tag. It was Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Sergeant Slaughter, Big Bossman, and Virgil versus the Mountie, the Repo Man, and the Nasty Boys. Not going to get into this. It was a typical 8-man tag match. It was not given enough time to really develop. Went for about 6.5 minutes. It was decent. It wasn't anything to frown upon or scream at. I'll give it 2 stars. It was okay for what it was. Then up next, remember at WrestleMania when I did my Mania 23 review a couple days ago? Remember how pissed off I was when the World Heavyweight title match was not the main event, or not at least close to the main event? Well, it's about to happen again, folks. The WWF title match, Ric Flair versus Randy Savage, is up next. It's mid-card. Bullshit, seeing as this match stole the damn show. Savage and Flair. There was amazing psychology, amazing wrestling, amazing counters. The crowd was I thought that they were out for like Piper and Hart, but no, they were like on fire for this match. They were really into it. This was Flair's only, it was Flair's only WrestleMania appearance in his year-and-a-half tenure in the WWE from 92 to 93, well, 91 to 93. But anyway, Flair had won the title at the Rumble. Savage obviously challenged him for it. There was some very, very, I thought the wrestling in this match was as good as you could get from two of the best ever. This was the match of the night, and I will still look at it as another one of those underrated matches in WrestleMania history. It's lost amongst the quite a few thousand many that we've had, but I'll give this match 4.5 stars. I think it deserved that, and this match was not even 20 minutes long, and it's about as good of a match as you could hope to see for a world title match at a WrestleMania, I do have to say. And then the card, I have to say, does go downhill from here, but let's see what else we got. We got Tatanka and Rick Martel. Nothing special. The ending basically just came out of nowhere for this one. I'll give it a star. Nothing special, nothing you have to see, but nothing extremely horrible. Up next was the WWF Tag Team title match. It was Money Inc. versus the Natural Disasters. This wasn't a decent match. Like, it wasn't anything good or great or to jump over. But it was a little better than the previous match, which probably made it look a lot better than what it was. I'll give this match about 1.5 stars. It was okay. It dragged on and got a little boring at parts, but it wasn't anything like terrible, let's just say. After that, we have Owen Hart versus Skinner. All I'm going to say is this match lasted like 1 minute and 10 seconds, or 1 minute and 11 seconds. Nothing happened. Owen Hart skins the cat. He wins with a roll-up. I'll give this 1/4 star. Nothing to really throw at it. And then up next, the main event. Unfortunately, it was Sid Justice, or Psycho Sid, or just Sid, as he was known as at some points, versus Hulk Hogan. The match was not so good. It was okay. It wasn't the worst. It wasn't the worst match that Sid's ever had, and it was not the worst match that Hogan's ever had. I will say that right now. But for a WrestleMania, for a main event, for one thing, the main event should definitely have been should have been Savage and Flair. But this match was thrown together, and only because Hogan was obviously the bigger name, he was put in the main event. This match is oftenly and obviously remembered as the return of the Ultimate Warrior, which it was. And Ultimate Warrior comes back after the match, after the stupid DQ ending. I thought the DQ ending was horrible. After Harvey Wimpleman jumped in the ring and he got Hogan DQ'd. Got Sid DQ'd. That was horrible. That was utterly horrible. And Papa Shango came down, started beating on him. Ultimate Warrior comes back to the biggest pop of the night, even after 2 great matches, biggest pop of the night. And he and Hogan kicked the shit out of Shango and Harvey and Sid, and just reigns supreme in the ring and everything like that. Good ending. I'm not a fan of Hogan or Warrior, but good ending for the fans. I'll give the match 2 stars, since it did have its points, but all in all, not a good match, basically at all, especially for a main event. Overall, I do have to say, this WrestleMania, not only was it number 9 on my list, I also have to say it was the first Mania not to follow the 12 or 14 matches that were normally at a WrestleMania. I'll give this an 8 out of 10. A great Mania, and it's number 9 on my list. Stay tuned for number